Welcome to another episode of the 64-Bit Legends. I am Bobby Caboose. As always, looking for that hot tag. It's Melvin Troy.
Yes, hot
tagging it. And you know what? That tag sounded like the slap heard around the world.
Oh yes, that's right. How could I forget about what was it? That's Sunday, right?
So yeah. If you haven't heard, you must be living under a rock.
Yeah.
But the Big Willie style, the Fresh Prince.
Yeah, came and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
Bitch slapped him.
Now, the thing with that, I seen the slap, and then I kept getting more and more videos come up that gave me more context.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, well, here do a recap because I'm actually going to find the video, and then we can listen to it.
So if you haven't heard. I don't know if Chris Rock was. I'm sure he was hosting the Oscars. That's why he was doing a monologue.
I don't think he was actually hosting the whole thing. I think he just came out for like a segment.
Okay, so he was doing his monologue, you know, giving jokes. You know, that's what comedians do. Mm-hmm. And he made a joke about Jada Pinkett, Will's wife, about her being in G.I. Jane 2, which I honestly thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, because she's got a bald head.
Yes.
Just like Demi Moore did.
And, she apparently is a victim of alopecia.
Yep.
And it looked like, at the beginning, Will Smith was laughing at the joke.
Yeah.
And then saw his wife's reaction and then acted on his wife's reaction.
Yeah, yeah.
And came up and did the bitchiest slap I've ever seen. I mean, I don't know what's up with these dudes and slapping recently, but like Michigan's head coach Juwan Howard slapped another coach not too long ago, and I don't know if an open hand slap is less of a charge than a punch. I would probably assume, but I would think it would also be both assault. So I don't know if there's a reason for the open hand slaps that are going around the world these days.
Yeah, everybody's wanting to fucking get do some crazy shit. So I don't know, and of all people, Will Smith.
Yeah,
because we all know Will Smith don't have to cuss in his raps to sell records.
Yeah, and we also know that he doesn't smoke cigars; he just bites it. It's for the look.
Yeah, he doesn't light it. Yeah, that's because you don't want to do that.
So he's probably one of the softer rappers in history of rap.
There was a local rapper, Esham, actually put out a tweet being like, something along the lines of like, after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, Marshall's getting kind of scared now, or something like
Mr.
that.
Nice Guy.
Yeah, and it took me a minute. I was like, who's he? I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Fuck him,
Mr. Nice Guy. But yeah, out of all people, Will Smith.
Yeah,
slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. And the thing is like, dude, like, we've talked about it. The world is just so fucking sensitive.
It is, but this is the thing too. It's like what's crazy is Will Smith won an Oscar
for the first time.
Yeah, for the first time. I mean, let's watch the video first. For everybody at home, you'll be able to hear this. But I got a 2-minute clip that shows a plenty of lead up of what was happening all the way to the slap. And then we'll kind of comment on this as this goes. So let me just bring this up here, and we'll take a listen.
Big fan, loved it.
Audio's kind of shit.
I love the part where it said, "King Lear don't got nothing on me."
So he's making jokes. He's talking to Denzel Washington, and he's kind of making jokes about he did a King Lear movie apparently, but he's saying like, he's quoting him saying like he did shit, like he was giving him lines like from Training Day, right. And so that's like the joke, and I don't know exactly the initial setup to this joke, but from what I gathered is that it's something about doing like, I think he's talking about doing remakes with black people or something like that.
He's
because that seems to be the lead up to
he's kind of just roasting everyone.
Yeah, but it's not even that bad, generally speaking.
It's on network TV. Like,
Did you ever see the Ricky Gervais kind of roasting people at some other award show a few years back?
Maybe.
Because I'll pull that up next. Because that you'll see there's a difference.
Right.
If someone's going to get slapped, I would have assumed Ricky Gervais would have instead of Chris Rock.
Right.
Who's, you know, he hosted the Oscars a few times in his life. I want to say he did years ago. Anyway, so let's take a look here.
Y'all got to see it. It's really good. You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win.
So it's like it's a pretty soft joke.
He's praying
He's
that
not
Will
being
Smith
harsh.
wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
People are laughing. Will's laughing.
Will's laughing.
And look at that eye roll.
And she's doing that eye roll like, oh boy, I don't like this. And yeah, Will's got a chuckle on his face.
Will's smiling ear to ear right now.
Yeah. And here's the thing. She's got a bald head.
Yeah.
And G.I. Jane was, I remember in the 90s, that was a big movie because Demi Moore, who was young back then, shaved her head, and it was a crazy thing because it was the 90s.
Right.
A woman shaving her head, that's crazy.
Yep.
It was the same thing with like lesbians back then. I remember Howard Stern would always talk about lesbians like they were like a great white elk.
Yep.
Like, oh, you'd be lucky to see one.
Yep.
And now it's just everybody's a pansexual, demisexual or whatever. But anyway, so he said, yeah, can't wait to see, just a comment like, hey, you got a shaved head?
Yep.
You know, hey, G.I. Jane 2, you could do it. And it's just a real softball thing. Will's laughing. She's making that face like unapprovingly. Look at that. Like, Now, but enough. That alone would have been enough.
Right.
Of anybody else. Like
that. And it's not like he digs into it any deeper, I don't think.
No.
I think he moves on.
That's all he did. That's all he said. And then he sees her reaction and then makes a face of like, dude, what do you want from me? Like, I'm just joking.
I'm a comedian.
Yeah. So he's already reacting to her reaction that she disapproves, and that was it. And he was going to move on, and Will Smith's laughing, and then
that was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard.
Will Smith just comes up and he open hand slaps him.
Yep.
And the thing is, though, that slap, if we go back, it didn't look like he hit him that hard.
Right.
I think he hit him just enough to make an
point.
impact.
Yeah, to get a point across.
Yeah. And but if you're on stage in front of people and you're surprised by it, you might overreact because you don't see Chris Rock isn't like his face isn't red.
No.
It's not like he's not like holding it like what the fuck, like he's able to recover pretty quickly. So
Richard. Oh wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Yeah, what else are you supposed to say? Like,
and then so then to make matters worse. So he says a joke.
Yep.
Will Smith doesn't think anything of it. Here's what I'm thinking happened because they cut away from his wife once it's seen as disapproving. Will Smith's just laughing. He's probably zoned out. He's probably not even paying attention because they've probably been at this for hours. She doesn't like it. He looks over and he's like, "Oh shit." She didn't like that joke.
And she's giving him a dirty look because he's laughing, guaranteed.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck, I got to do something. And so he's like, all right, I'm just going to get up and I'm going to smack. Now, but here's the other thing. A simple, like, what he does next here, all he would have had to do.
Yep.
He wouldn't even have to do all that shit. But then he does it. So he hits him, and then...
just smacked the shit out of me.
Out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
It's like...
It makes it so awkward.
It's like, you can't even keep yourself composed.
Right.
It is kind of like... It is so much of an overreaction. It's so much of an overreaction. All he would have had to say, if he would have just shouted, hey, keep my name out of his fucking mouth, he would have been like, oh, shit, all right, man,
Right.
I respect you. You know it's just good. He probably would have been able to play it off because you could tell what Chris Rock does next. He could have fucking laid into him.
Oh, I know.
And-
Or, like, when Will Smith walked up to him, instead of smacking him, he could have been like, hey, man, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth,
Yeah.
and then just walk back.
Yeah, that's all. He wouldn't have had to hit him. He wouldn't have done
Then
anything.
he wouldn't have caused a scene. Like,
And again,
it wouldn't have made it awkward.
Chris Rock is the type, at this point you could see, because since he doesn't lay into him, like he just got hit in front of millions of people.
Yep.
I mean, anyone else's reaction, there's a lot, and I've seen on like Twitter and stuff, a lot of other comedians and shit, they would just roast the shit out of him.
Right.
Like, dude, if anybody came up and fucking hit, think of any, I'm trying to, like Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
If someone came up to Dave Chappelle, he would be like, fuck this. We're talking about you for the next 15 minutes now. Like, that's all we're going to fucking do now. And so Chris Rock fucking, you could see though, right here, after he's fucking like, hey man, you got to calm the fuck down.
Right.
Like, he's thinking,
Okay.
like,
He's
what do
like,
I
yeah,
do?
okay.
Like, what am I going to do with this here? And then he just like, all right.
That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. So we are here.
Like, he doesn't even go back
Right.
in to fuck, dude. You can, and here's the kicker. There is so much you can make fun of Will Smith
Yep.
for. You can make fun of his corny beginnings. You can make fun of
Fucking Wild Wild West and his terrible
You
movies.
can make fun of that. Scientology.
Yep.
The fact that his wife cheated on him.
Yep. With his, like, son's friend or some shit.
Yes. And then
The fact that he may be gay.
yes.
There's a ton of
like
stuff.
there's so much out there that he could have fucking roasted him for. Like, and I've seen people online saying shit like, because the dude that his wife cheated on, the dude's name was August, and they would be like, oh man, why don't you bring this much? You bring heat to Chris Rock for making a joke. Well, how much heat did you bring to August for fucking your wife?
Yeah.
Type shit. Oh, and then on top of that, his wife not too long ago was reading fucking letters that Tupac wrote to her on her show. Like, just constantly cucking him left and right.
Wasn't he like recently on TV with her and she was like telling people like about their marriage and stuff and he was just sitting there taking it?
Yeah, that was about a year or so ago. That was when it all came out about her cheating on him.
Yeah.
And she's the one who brought it up on her stupid show to talk about. Like, there is so much weirdness in that family. And on top of that, then his son, you see his son,
his son goes, he tweeted shortly after that, he goes, that's how we roll. I'm like, dude,
you ain't rolling nothing,
your
dude.
dad's like the biggest pussy in rap history.
Yeah.
Like, you don't roll hard at all.
No.
Dude.
Says his son who's wears dresses.
Yeah.
Not to say, hey, if that's your thing, that's fine. But like, generally speaking, a dude wearing a dress does not come across intimidating. Okay,
correct.
It's not, especially in a very very small.
That's why
man.
Will Smith got sent out to Bel Air because he got in a fight with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ,
but
man. But if you rewind a little bit,
okay,
and it might be So right there, he looks off stage.
Like, oh yeah, what? Oh, Chris Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's looking.
Like, what do I do with this?
I guarantee whoever he's looking at is telling him, don't acknowledge this.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, and like comedians are born with a skill of being able to roast someone on the spot, or most are.
Yeah.
And they're so used to, like, I mean, he could take like old material or whatever. He is so used to like hecklers and shit and being able to battle back quickly. I guarantee he wanted to say something and somebody off screen was probably like, hey, don't acknowledge it. This is the Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's so crazy. And so here's the other side of this. So I think that was pretty much it, because I think he just kind of rolls into like the next subject.
To give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out for best documentary. Now the beauty of documentaries, because they make you, when you watch one, you feel smart, like you watched them, like like you read a book or something.
Like he goes back to just making jokes again.
Yeah.
Like he just completely ignores it.
And the fact that like he's trying to make small jokes or whatever, and no one's laughing because Will Smith made it completely awkward to be there.
Yeah.
And you can tell Chris Rock don't even want to fucking be on stage right now.
Yeah.
Like, he probably wants to fucking punch him in the face, but he can't.
Yeah, and the other thing is Will Smith goes on to win a fucking Oscar that night. And then on top of that, like, I seen a clip of it where he's just like rambling about, like, he never apologizes.
No, but he says something. I was reading something, and he said something like that Denzel Washington told him after this. Like, he's sitting back down, and Denzel Washington says something to him about God, and he's testing you or some shit.
Yeah.
And he says that and starts crying on stage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, maybe you wouldn't be crying if you weren't a fucking Scientologist cuck.
Yeah. Like, your fucking shit's a wreck. Your life's a fucking wreck. I'm sorry that's on you. But you're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
People are going to comment on your shit.
Right.
And now, on top of that, you've forever tarnished your probably only Oscar win you'll ever have.
Yes.
You
probably won't even be invited back.
No, yeah. They'll like, I'm surprised they even still gave it to him.
Right.
But that'll be the memory. It'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember he won and he slapped the host. Like,
so, not to bring race into it either.
Yeah.
But imagine if one of these dudes weren't the same race.
I've heard people bring that up.
This is already a story because this is nothing like this has ever happened. But it would be fucking magnified to the fucking moon.
Well, there's a thing of this too, and it's because I've someone had mentioned. Actually, an older guy had mentioned this to me. Of like. You got to think about some of those other actors, like especially other black actors that have been like Samuel Jackson, who's been around forever or something like that.
He just won his first Oscar that night too, and no one fucking remembers it.
I didn't even know. Yeah, that's all I heard about.
I literally just saw it right before we started recording.
Think about that. Think about that as like another, overall, black people winning Oscars is. I mean, there's not a lot of black actors to win Oscars because there's just not a lot of black actors.
I mean, whatever the case is.
Over history, there just wasn't as many as other races or whatever. And so to be like overshadowed, like, and on top of that, you have someone like a Samuel Jackson who's like came up way earlier when it was probably tougher. Like it was probably tougher as a black actor to like get work or get quality work and fucking make a name for yourself, and then you're overshadowed because some dude wants to make a fool.
I mean, Will Smith's win. That was his first Oscar win. Yeah. And no one's talking about your Oscar win, bro. They're talking about you bitch slapped the dude, and you didn't even have the balls to fucking punch him. You fucking bitch slapped him. Yeah. And the way he slapped him looked very, very, nothing wrong with it, but very femme.
Yeah, it did. Like I said, Chris Rock's not a big guy.
Right.
And he was able to, like, take it. You heard the impact of it, but I think the impact that you heard was more of
on the microphone.
The microphone than his actual face.
But like, imagine if when Will Smith started walking away, Chris Rock could have followed him and pushed him or whatever.
Yeah,
it could have escalated pretty quickly, and for Chris Rock to even continue on stage, like if that would have happened to me, I might have just been like, you know what, I'm out, and just fucking walked off stage. Like, what is, I just, like, and what, the producers of the Oscars or whoever the fuck runs it is going to fucking say something to me? I just got fucking hit, dude. Like, go fuck yourself.
And think about this. A lot of people are making this comparison. Remember when Kanye West did that to Taylor Swift? Yep. And it was like, he wasn't even actually, I mean, the thing was rude in general, but he wasn't, like, rude to her. Like, he wasn't like, fuck you.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, I think his thing was like, hey,
Beyonce had like one of the greatest songs of all time or some shit.
Yeah, but even to her, he said like no disrespect to you, but I'm gonna let you speak, but real quick, Beyonce, blah 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 blah, and then he sat down. And everyone was like, oh, that guy's a fucking asshole, blah 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 blah, and it's like, he shouldn't have done that. It was kind of that is an asshole move, but like, you don't fucking hit somebody,
right?
If Kanye West. Dude, it wouldn't have mattered like if Kanye West would have slapped fucking say Chris Rock was hosting whatever show that was and Kanye West slapped, like they would be like, fuck you, Kanye, like who the fuck are you?
Yeah, because like it does, like Kanye on the other hand, he does rub a lot of people the wrong way. And I think even the Taylor Swift thing, again, not to like focus on race, but it's like if if he would have did that to a black chick, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. I think white people made it a huge deal because it was Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, I think
you know,
right,
and like, you know, obviously, you know, in this country, white is the majority.
Yeah,
and I think, you know, like I said, if it was you know, if it was Nicki Minaj up there and she was like, yeah, you know, no disrespect, you know, Beyonce had a better song, whatever the fuck, no one would have really cared. It was because fucking Taylor Swift looks innocent. Yeah, she's a white, you know, little innocent white girl.
Yeah, she's like I guess you could say back then maybe more soft spoken because like if you did that to like a Nicki Minaj would fucking like say some shit.
Right, right.
She wouldn't take that. But that's again, I think that's also the thing with Will Smith is like Chris Rock back in the day was like edgy and shocking and stuff, but nowadays for what the culture is, he's not that shocking.
He's very like family friendly now.
I mean, he still swears and everything, but he's not quite Bill Cosby, but I think he's probably the closest type of comedian like a Bill Cosby
he's turning into like
minus the rape,
like grown-ups.
Yeah.
That's how I see him. He's like a PG to PG-13 actor. He doesn't seem to do much, you know, more R stuff. I don't really see his comedy much. So
yeah, he's not like Dave Chappelle. But that's what I was gonna get to is like you would fucking Will Smith would if it was Dave Chappelle, like a fucking I don't know what Martin Lawrence is like now, but I know back in the day, like if it was Martin Lawrence or like anybody like that.
Yeah.
Dude, he wouldn't step to him. I mean, maybe he would step to him, but he wouldn't hit him.
Right.
He would, and I just that's the thing though. Like overall, my initial reaction is, dude, that woman, meaning Jada, fucking has destroyed that man.
Yeah.
Like that.
There was a meme saying that like Tupac would have killed him. Like, you just bitch slapped him. Tupac would have killed him for me.
And that's the thing. That's all they're gonna talk about. Not about how great his win was and like way to go. That's all they're gonna talk about, and it's gonna be overshadowed. Everyone's gonna be hyper focused on their relationship again, and it's gonna make her look bad.
But there's some theories out there that it was kayfabe. Like people,
I did hear that.
People thought it was like it's staged.
Yeah.
And other people, like I was telling you before we started recording, I read something quickly that, you know, I didn't go into detail, but it was some kind of Scientology rule that if someone publicly like disrespects your family, you have to do something about it.
You know, there's something about I don't know.
And I don't know if that's true or I didn't read that much into it. But
I remember one of those Scientology documentaries where they would talk about, I think the phrase would be like by any means necessary type of thing.
Yeah.
Where that's why they would go after like the IRS and they would go after people and harass people that like try to speak out about Scientology. And it might have something, I could see it having something to do with that mindset, like that general policy.
Right. But I also know that they also like pay tabloids and shit to get all their people out of them.
Yeah.
But you can't fucking hide this.
Right.
So
right. But then but on the flip side though, you know, like think about, okay, speaking of Scientology, Tom Cruise, a lot of people talk shit about Tom Cruise. A lot of people talk shit about his marriages.
Right. People talk shit about it, but it's never really in the papers. That's what I mean. Like they get article like John Travolta. Like there's been questions about him being gay and all this stuff for years, but nothing ever comes out in those tabloids.
Well, what I mean though is like people have like joked about them and their relationships,
right?
But they won't go and like there's video you could see Tom Cruise kind of being like awkward and just way too serious when people would try to joke around with him,
right?
But he would never like again nothing ever like.
But like as far as like they're never really in the limelight, like like, and I think that's part of Scientology because I think I saw it on like one of the Leah Remini things, that they'll protect their people, like they'll pay paparazzi and stuff if they have an embarrassing picture or something not to publish it type shit because they don't want to embarrass the Scientology brand.
That's a possibility. I mean, you know, and on the other side of that is, you know, there has been the rumors, and you had mentioned it, of Will Smith being gay.
Yeah. Before,
and there's actually this story. So, I'm gonna butcher the story. So I would encourage anybody that wants to like look this up. Just go on YouTube and find this. It was a comedian, Bert Kreischer. I don't know if you know who he is. He's long story short, they based. Like his life was the influence for that movie Van Wilder.
Okay.
So That's how he got his start. But he's a comedian, Joe Rogan, one of Joe Rogan's friends, type of things. And he was on one of his podcasts. So all you got to look up is like Bert Kreischer, Will Smith, and then it's a story about like when he was kind of coming up, he ended up hanging out and becoming like not close friends, but was like friendly with Will Smith.
Right.
And then they were like hanging out. But then somebody told him, I think his like dad told him of like, well, you got to be careful because he might be trying to, those Hollywood types are trying to like hook up with you. And he like no-showed Will Smith and just never hung out with him again. He got too weirded out. And then I guess years later, another comedian was in a meeting with like Will Smith and was like, oh, by the way, I'm friends with Bert. And yeah, this crazy story. He thinks, he thought at one time that you were like into him. And I guess Will Smith told him. Again, this is all like rumor and secondhand. But I guess like Will Smith told him, he's like, well, that was a different time in my life back then. And he was like, whoa, I was not the reaction. I just thought you were just gonna laugh about it. And then
I was getting jiggy with it.
Yeah, so it was
nah.
There's other rumors I've heard about it. And again, with Scientology, you mentioned with like John Travolta, people have said he's gay, or Tom Cruise, or LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Fucking okay. Side note. LL Cool J, somebody showed me this video. Someone put a compilation together of LL Cool J videos, and every LL Cool J video, he's got some weird shit going on, like goofy shit going on.
Like, what do you mean goofy shit?
So, an easy one is my hat is like a shark's fin, where he just morphs into some weird shark in the thing. So there's like stuff like that. But there was one where it's like, we all know LL Cool J is like ripped, right? But then there's like, but he'll be like taking a shower with a woman, and he's like fully clothed in like a leather jacket while he's washing her hair. It's just like weird shit. And on top of that, look him up. Is he married?
I don't know.
Cool J wife. Let me see if is he actually married? Okay, apparently he is married to a woman. But I've heard for a while that dude was gay.
Right.
That like Scientology was like keeping it a secret. I can't find it now. But yeah, just look up. Just go. If you're ever bored, go look up. Do a deep dive on LL Cool J videos and watch that they're all fucking weird in some way, and they are. We'll have to do that on this on the podcast. We'll have to just do a fucking LL Cool
just
J.
Like we deep dived fucking Hulk Hogan's album.
Yes.
I still want to be a Hulkamaniac with my family and friends. Hulkster in Heaven. Great song. Great song.
But yeah, this is fucking Will Smith, I think, is a broken man. I think his wife has embarrassed him beyond belief, just emasculated him in front of the whole world. His son is a fucking weirdo.
Yep.
And what's funny is like years ago, Will Smith would actually like poke fun at his son for being like, "What are you doing? He's just being ridiculous." And I think he stopped doing it. I don't know. I don't follow Will Smith, so maybe he hasn't. But you know how like your dad would be like, "What are you playing with that for? That's stupid. What do you do?" Like he would kind of do that with his son, but his son was like getting weirder and weirder. What's his son's name? Jaden Smith. Yeah, let me take a look.
Sal's got a tattoo of him on his thigh.
Like his whole thing. Let me pull up his Instagram because that's like, and his whole like 18 million followers for doing nothing.
Must be nice.
Yeah, here he is in a flower dress. And it's like, look, I know it's 2022. I know the world is much more progressive. But like, imagine you come up. You're a guy like Will Smith. Came up, didn't have the easy way.
West Side of Philly. Came
up from nothing.
Born and raised.
Through the music business. Got in the entertainment business, parlayed one good deal to another good deal to another good deal, got all the success.
On the b-ball court is where he spent most of his days.
Yeah, had all of this success out of nothing.
Coming from out maxing.
Hard streets.
Relaxing all cool.
Yeah.
Shooting some b-ball outside the school when a couple of guys named Chris Rock came up to him. And he slapped the shit out of him.
Yeah. Like,
He
imagine,
got one little fight, and his mom got scared.
but you look at it, then you have him look at his son and be like, yeah, look at this came up, and I tried to make a better place for my kids. I have my kids a little bit easier. And then your son is out there dressing up in flower dresses.
Oh, Jesus.
As a quote-unquote artist.
What
Not
the
really
fuck
doing
is he
anything.
wearing?
It's a flower dress.
Are those real flowers?
He posted it a week ago. It looks like they're probably real or
Jesus
something.
Christ.
Who knows? But it's like, yeah, the trippy summer pop-up of the year will be in Toronto. Please come talk to us about our personal study of mystical states of consciousness. Like, what is this? This is just a scam. Like, your whole family, Will Smith, outside of Will Smith's talent. Jada Pinkett Smith, by the way, she's an actress. She's been in some movies that I can think of off the top of my head. She was in Woo.
That's the only one I know.
She was
off the top of my head.
She was in the first Nutty Professor with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
She was in what movie was that with Tupac she was in?
She was in a movie with Tupac?
I thought she was in a movie with Tupac, wasn't she? Or did they date?
I know Janet Jackson was in a movie with Tupac.
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking
Poetic
of.
Justice. And Janet Jackson made him get an AIDS test.
That's right. I want to say, yeah, maybe they dated. No, I think they dated.
No, they were like best friends.
Oh, were they best?
Yeah, they were best friends,
quote unquote.
quote unquote.
Yeah. But she was in a bunch of movies, but they were like, they weren't bad movies,
Right.
but they're not like Will Smith movies. They're not
Right.
like iconic.
Yeah, it's not Independence Day.
Yeah, Independence Day, Men in Black, Wild Wild West, Muhammad Ali, fucking. There's so many, like, there's some shit that he's done.
Fucking 7 pounds or whatever.
7 pounds, I, Robot. Like, these are massive films. And she's whittled this successful man down to nothing. And all she has now is her stupid
Alopecia.
and her stupid Facebook Red Table Talk show where she gets to fucking pontificate with this air of superiority. That she has. From what I have no idea. I don't understand how people can watch that. It's just so smug. Like, I've watched clips of it when she was like talking about her cheating on him. And it's just so smug and arrogant. And I'm like, how can you watch this?
And the thing
There's nothing respectable about any of this.
It doesn't seem like she's getting any backlash from cheating on him either. Like
No.
no one's like, oh, she's a fucking horrible woman. I guarantee you.
They all shit on Will Smith for it.
Yes, I guarantee you would find more people being like, good for her, she's being brave, instead of being like, wow, she's a piece of shit. She fucking like slept with her son's friend.
Well, the only major backlash she got was that she tried to like sugarcoat it as an entanglement without saying cheating.
Yeah,
and that was what the joke was. But everyone else was just shitting on Will Smith for it. So it's like, dude, I'm gonna say this: Will Smith's family is a family of losers. Like, they're rich losers, but they're a bunch of losers.
Uncle Phil would be pissed.
Uncle Bill would be pissed. Be like, why are you hanging out with a bunch of these bums? They're just dragging you down, and yet he's got to be. He said in his speech about how he's got to like protect his family. And I was like, dude, you got to protect yourself from your family. Your family's dragging you down.
Right.
They're destroying you. You are a shell of a man at this point.
Go back to Jazzy Jeff, man.
Yes, hang out with Jazzy Jeff. Start making rap songs again. Maybe throw an F word in there.
Yeah.
You threw an F word at Chris Rock on national TV.
Yeah,
you can put it in a record.
You can't you can't say it on raps, but you'll say it on network TV that they have to fucking censor the American version.
Yeah.
And everyone else in the world saw it.
Like, Jesus Christ, man. Your fucking kids are weird. Your wife's a weirdo. Your fucking whole life's weird.
You have a whole fucking circus at your house.
Yeah. You haven't made a good... I don't even know what this movie was he won an Oscar for.
Your wife's balder than Tupac now.
What movie was this that he won an Oscar for that's so great?
I have no idea.
What is Will Smith doing that's so wonderful that I don't even know what it is? If I don't know what you're doing, you ain't doing shit. That's the way I look at it. You're a fucking loser if I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, God.
Everyone that's cool, I know what they're doing. So, let's see.
I know Chris Rock's getting slapped in the face. He's cool.
Yeah. What did he win? I can't even find.
I have no idea.
I can't even find what the movie is because
It
it's
just
all about
says slap?
Yeah, it's all about him slapping Chris Rock.
Maybe it's Slapshot too. I don't know.
Let me look up Will Smith. It's got to be one of his most recent movies. So let me see. Will Smith movies. It's got to be King Richard is the
that's the
movie.
one about fucking Venus and Serena's dad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He won an Oscar for that?
I guess. Actually, that makes sense because there was like clickbait on Facebook right before we went on there and said King Richard speaks out about this. So
the guy's still alive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
He's still alive.
Oh,
But
nice.
Like he was Serena and Venus are from Compton.
Okay.
So that's why I think he was like somewhat of a big deal because he was a black dude that taught tennis in Compton.
All right. Well,
So-
all right. I'll give it. There's probably an interesting story there. Here's a side note, by the way, with these biopics. I don't want to watch a biopic of anybody that's still alive. You got to be dead. Don't make a movie about it. I have a problem with that. Like Ray, the movie with Jamie Foxx was a great movie because and what was great about it is that they gave a very honest portrayal, and I think Jamie Foxx did a good job playing Ray Charles.
I've never seen it.
It's actually pretty good. I don't even know much. I don't have an interest in Ray Charles, but the movie was pretty solid. But it's a very honest portrayal, and it's not biased. Well, it could be, but it doesn't make him look great. It's just an interesting story about how human he is.
Right. That's why I like the Jersey Boys one because
Jersey Boys one, yeah, they don't
because like Frankie Valli did not have a glorious life. Like his life fucking sucked. Like he had to pay all his fucking debt because of what's his name.
Yeah.
And then his daughter died, like at like 18.
Oh, and I think Jersey Boys. Give Jersey Boys and almost Straight Outta Compton a pass because I know some of those guys are still alive.
Yeah.
But you have a group of people and they have to come to a consensus of what's reasonable. And Jersey Boys, they all look bad.
Yeah.
They all look bad. Even Frankie Valli to an extent. Like he's a sympathetic character, but he's still like cheated on his wife and all this other shit. So, and my only beef
and your
with,
favorite dude, Nicky, in that he had to lie to his kid to say that he was his uncle.
The dude was retarded. I'm sorry. Nicky even Jersey Boys is a retard. I'm sorry.
He was awesome.
But Straight Outta Compton, my only beef is you could tell they just were like, well, Eazy-E's dead, so we're just gonna make him look like a shithead. Like he would look like he was. Now, granted, Eazy-E may not have been the hero,
right?
But I'm sure fucking Ice Cube and fucking Dr. Dre were not fucking innocent angels in the whole thing either.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty clear that Dr. Dre had a big piece of the production of that because Dr. Dre looked like the real victim out of everybody. Even though he's a billionaire, he's the only one.
Yeah, Ice Cube kind of too, because like Ice Cube never got paid and all that shit.
Yeah, but they made Ice Cube look more like
hard.
Yeah, they made him look hard, and they made him look more insecure. Like, granted, in the story, he was fairly justified, but he looked like the more insecure person out of the group, and that's why he left early.
Yeah.
You know, where he was like, I'm not getting my recognition. And they were able to loop it around, and where he's kind of gets a redemption, where he gets his recognition, but not as much as Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre he's the magic. Without all them, without Dr. Dre, all the rest of them are fucking run to shit. And Eazy-E was the worst of them because he was the most rebellious. And it wasn't until he finally got AIDS that he finally learned his lesson. And he was like, Dre, you were right. I should have teamed up with you instead of Jerry. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Another, like, Elton John.
Have a good night, Jerry. And that dude's just at his house.
That's right. Fucking Elton John's got a
cigar.
Got a fucking movie about him.
Dude, I tried watching that.
It's a musical.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a musical. So Jersey Boys is technically a musical, but they only sing like their songs.
Yeah.
Fucking, I tried to watch Rocket Man, and within the first like 10 minutes, I shut it off because he's like a little kid sitting at the kitchen table eating breakfast, eating cereal, and he's singing. And I'm like, nope, not watching this fucking garbage.
No, it's stupid. And Elton John is not going to let you take an unbiased look at his life.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. It's like the Queen movie. Everyone was talking about that Queen movie. It was
Yeah,
like,
never seen it.
Dude, it's terrible. I couldn't even make it. And then on top of the editing in that movie, there's a scene where they're all sitting at a table. And they're talking about, I think they're meeting with somebody from a record company. And the cuts are like you're nauseous because you're just bouncing so much from face to face to face to face. Like, it's just a badly made movie. It's terrible. And what was interesting about that one is apparently the guy who plays Borat was supposed to play Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
And but they couldn't. It took too long to get the deal done because the rest of the band. This is how out of touch they were because they're all still alive.
Right.
This is how they were so out of touch. I believe it was on Howard Stern. He was in an interview talking about what ended up happening, where it was like, they were talking about the story. The band was talking about the story, and it was like, okay, well, they lead up the story about Freddie Mercury and the band, and Freddie Mercury dies, and the band wanted it to be like, okay, and that's like the first, I don't know, half of the movie. And they're like, what do you mean that's the first half? It's like, well, yeah, then we have a story about like how we continue on. They're like, nobody's interested in that.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about the remaining members of Queen. They only care about Freddie Mercury. So, I hate to break it to you, that's all they care about.
Right.
Like, they're not going to give a shit about, like, well, what's the guitarist doing? How's he handling all this? Like, they don't care.
He's drawing comics now. Or
Like,
whatever the fuck. I don't know what he's doing.
Who fucking knows? I don't give a shit. They could all be dead. I don't care. Fuck them. That terrible movie. I would have rather see Borat play fucking Freddie Mercury in a well-made film.
I'd rather see Borat play Freddie Mercury. Like, actually Borat.
Yes. Instead of this slap together, it was probably to the point where
Like,
they just...
I don't want Borat to come out of his Borat character. I just want him to be Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's not the guy playing Borat that goes to play. It's Borat.
Yeah, with the accent and everything. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but those fucking idiots, they probably realized they sat on that fucking deal for so long, and then everyone was like, well, we're not going to do this. And they're like, well, shit, we're not going to get a payday out of this now. And they're like, well, I guess make the movie that you think you should make. And they're like, well,
look, I guess you can cut out half my life. Whatever.
Yeah, you can center it more about Freddie Mercury. Well, Borat's out. Well, get the guy from Mr. Robot, because he's cool. Everybody's watching that on USA, because we all know the USA drama series are fucking killing it.
They are killing it.
No, they're not.
That one with LL Cool J before Raw, that's killing it.
CSI?
Yes, Chicago.
CSI Chicago with LL Cool J?
And
Suits?
and
Anybody that
Monk.
Monk's been canceled
and
for years.
fucking Xena the Warrior Princess. Walker, Texas Ranger.
They put that on USA?
It used to be.
La Femme Nikita?
La Femme Nikita.
I remember La Femme Nikita used to come on. I think it was...
It was before or after Raw.
Yeah.
I think it was after Raw. La Femme Nikita, yeah. And fucking Xena the Warrior Princess. Conan the Barbarian, I think, was on there. But yeah, they're bringing back all those shows.
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing back Texas Walker.
Really?
Texas Ranger, yeah.
Let me guess.
Not USA, but like one of those streaming services.
I'm gonna
It's just called Walker.
But it's not gonna be Chuck Norris. Here's
yeah, because he's fucking 80.
Here's who it's gonna be. It's not gonna be
Jonah Hill.
No.
Kel Mitchell.
It's close. It's gonna be the guy.
Josh Server.
No. It's gonna be.
I can keep rattling off names. Michael Cera?
No. I don't. No. You were closer with Kel. It's gonna be a black guy, first of all, because if you remember the original Walker, I
never watched it.
Oh well, okay.
I didn't want to watch it.
Let me explain how
my mom really liked that show. Not for me.
Let me explain Walker Texas Ranger to you. Okay, it's a similar
His name's
archetype.
Walker.
Well, it's the same archetype.
And he played shortstop for the Texas Rangers.
No, it's an archetype from the Lone Ranger. So the way the Lone Ranger show used to work was there'd be a crime. Lone Ranger needs to investigate what's going on, but he would send his Indian friend Tonto into town to investigate. Then Tonto would dig into it.
There's no way his name was Tonto.
I swear to God, look it up. His sidekick was Tonto. Tonto and the Lone Ranger. Tonto would go to town to investigate.
Tonto would go to town.
And then Tonto would get the shit kicked out of him or kidnapped or something.
Tonto would go to Pound Town with Vic Murphy and get the shit kicked out of him.
He would. He would get it.
By 18 Palombos.
Tonto would go investigate. He'd get kidnapped. He'd get beat up. Then the Lone Ranger has to come rescue him, and then he saves the day and ends up solving the crime. Walker, Texas Ranger, same thing. But here's the difference. Walker was a Texas Ranger.
Yeah, he was a shortstop.
It's like a modern day cowboy.
You're right. He's a shortstop
No,
for the Texas Rangers,
no,
owned by George Bush.
He's a lawman, and his friend, instead of having an Indian friend, he had a black friend, and the black friend would go into town and investigate, and he'd always get beat up and kidnapped. And then Walker,
Sounds
Texas
racist.
Ranger, it was. And Walker, Texas Ranger would come in with his karate kicks and solve the crime.
So there was a, I believe it was, what match was that? I think it was Undertaker versus like Yokozuna or something.
Yeah.
And Walker, Chuck Norris,
Yeah.
was the special enforcer to keep the $1 million corporation, $1 million corporation out. And he was like, one by one, a wrestler would run out and he would like karate kick.
Yes. See, that's what.
It was awesome.
And that's what he would do in Walker, Texas Ranger. So, and he would save his black friend. But here's how they're going to remake it. It's going to be reversed because that's the trend now. So you're going to get like LL Cool J will be Walker, Texas Ranger. He's older now. I would say the guy who plays Stringer Bell, but he's too big now. He can't do that. I don't know. Maybe I would say the guy maybe who played Omar, but he's dead. But someone like that, right? He'd be Walker. They make it a little bit more grittier, and then he'd have like a white friend that would always get beat up.
It's gonna be that guy
and send him
from
to town.
American Vandal, the second season. That black kid that played basketball.
That one's a reach. I don't know. I don't even know who that kid is.
He was in Snowfall for a little bit too.
Oh, okay.
It's a great show, by the way.
You know who it would be? Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. He's Walker, Texas Ranger.
He's not Walker,
in
Texas
the
Ranger.
reboot. And
You know who's Walker, Texas Ranger? Fucking Method Man or like
No.
RZA.
No, Donald Glover. That's who's gonna be.
No,
That's
they
who-
already made it. It's not him.
I'm gonna look it up now.
I believe it's called just Walker
Walker, Texas
Ranger reboot. Is it coming up?
Reboot. Hold on, I'm searching here. It's called Walker. Okay.
And it's not Danny Glover. It's Kenan Thompson. It's
Okay.
The Rock.
Okay. Looks like they didn't go. They didn't go the way we were talking about. Looks like Walker is a white guy still. I'm actually disappointed. I was hoping we'd get a black Walker. That's what I wanted.
Instead of Walker, Texas Ranger, it's like Walker, Detroit Park Ranger.
Yeah. Or we could have got Or we could have got a fucking Native American Walker, where it would be like
Native Americans don't exist anymore.
they do. They're still out there. There's some tribes
As
left.
soon as the Washington Redskins changed their name, they went away.
I don't think that's how that worked.
I think they did.
I don't know about that.
They were like, you know what? We got our mission accomplished by changing the racist football team. we don't have.
Would they just walk into the field
we
and
don't-
disappear?
Yeah, we no longer
Like,
have
what
a
do we-
purpose.
They just go. They all
They migrated. Indians migrate.
what via the land bridge?
Yeah, no, they took their buffalo and their teepees and shit, and they just moved.
I don't think they live in teepees anymore.
Yeah, they do. They live on Indian reservations and teepees and the longhouses and the fucking wigwams, all that shit, dude.
Was a wig? I don't think
Yeah,
no.
the wigwam was a house.
That was was that a North American?
It was a
Native American.
It was a
thing?
northwest.
Was it the
Yes.
wigwam? I just remember the Pueblo. The Pueblo.
Pueblos were like near Mexico
I always loved because I remember
because
in
they made it like out of Adobe or whatever that shit is.
Adobe Premiere.
Isn't that what? Isn't what that like fucking
No, I think
clay
you're right,
is?
yeah.
See,
I
I know shit.
I think you're right.
They all fucking migrated, dude. Once the Redskins changed their name, they're like, our mission here is done. Now we need to go where others need us.
Where's that?
They're finding it.
Okay.
They're migrating. They go wherever the world needs them.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
facts.
think- I
Look
don't-
it up, man. Look it up.
I don't think that's how that
Look it
works.
up. Look it up.
I think they just live on the reservation.
No, they moved. They moved.
I mean, granted, the reservations historically were not the best land that we gave away
They
as a
moved.
country, but if they did move, I wouldn't blame them. But I don't know.
They got like the last 50 years. They were
I
trying
just-
to get that Redskins name changed.
I just want a Native American Walker Texas Ranger. I think that would be good.
Walker Indian Ranger.
Yeah. Well, reservation ranger. He goes and takes care of the reservation. He's like the hero.
He's got to go into town in the reservation.
Well, no, he doesn't go into town. He'd have like his white friend. He'd put
how's the white friend on the reservation?
Well, he's married in.
He's like Sir Jared of the Swove.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like he's just married in, and then he sends him to investigate. Like, hey,
Donald.
Yeah, yeah, Donald Schmitz. Why don't you go check out? There's some reports of some vandalism. He's like, I'll go check it out, buddy. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's all fucking like tied up to a chair, being beaten with bats, and then fucking Walker Reservation Ranger comes in
with his buffalo.
No, they don't. I don't think we do. We even have buffalo anymore,
dude. I don't know. They fucking roam with them.
That's a different. That's a song.
No,
the buffalo roam.
Yeah, where do you think they got that
and the
from?
Clydes are not cloudy all day.
That's where they got it. They're like, it's a buffalo fro.
Well, that's different.
She goes where the buffalo go.
Now you're talking about buffalo fro.
She hangs where the buffalo roam.
We're all over the place. This is,
dude. I'm telling you, the Indians left the reservations because the Washington Redskins changed their name, and they're like, our job here is done.
Well, who's on the reservations now?
No one.
They're just vacant?
Yeah, they're ghost towns.
Well, who's going to get that land?
Whoever claims it. Like, you squat. You can call me Squatting Bobby.
Is that what you're going to go?
That's my Indian name.
I mean, I'm gonna. If that's the case, because I know I have some Native American in me. I think the math comes out.
Not enough for a scholarship.
I might actually, but the problem is when I asked my grandparents about it,
they don't keep records.
They don't keep records. Yeah, they don't keep very, very good records. It's Cherokee, and I think the way it went is my great grandfather was 50%. So then my grandmother would have been a quarter. My mom would have been an eighth, which would make me a 16th. Is that the way that goes?
I don't know.
So I think that falls in line.
I wasn't actually paying attention this whole time. So
I think that falls in line with what you would need, but I didn't get it.
Dude, no, they migrated.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're gone. When was the last time you've seen a commercial when they like zoom in on an Indian's face and he has like one tear coming out of his eye?
That was in the 70s.
Yeah, and it's not anymore.
And I heard that guy wasn't even like Native American.
Yeah, but it's not anymore. You haven't seen it since. They migrated.
I do remember that though. He'd walk in.
It was like in the
trash.
It was like either in the 90s or 2000s.
Yeah, that was a weird commercial. I remember. Did you ever see Wayne's World 2?
Yeah, with the naked Indian. The naked Indian told me to put on this concert, Wayne Fest or whatever, Wayne Stock. He followed the naked Indian to John Morrison or whatever.
Jim Morrison. Yeah, from the Doors. He fucking just goes. I mean, hey, sometimes you just gotta follow your.
We went to school with Jim Morrison, and his sister had a fat ass, and that's where I'm gonna leave off on this podcast.
All right, I think this all ties together now.
Yep.
Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock.
Yep.
Jim Morrison's what was his name? Dave Morrison.
Jim Morrison.
Who the guy you knew?
He went to school with us. His name was Jim Morrison.
Oh, Jim Morrison's sister has got a fat ass.
Yeah.
It all ties together.
Yep.
I think we covered it. I
think we covered it.
I think we covered it all.
I think today was a great episode.
We did.
So
we did a great job.
Check us out everywhere. You can check out Spotify or podcasts. Melvin Troy, twitch.tv / Melvin Troy. Tuesdays, Turnbuckle Tuesdays. Check us out. April 10th is our 64-bit Mania. We have crazy storylines. Check us out every Tuesday to get caught up on that. And if you can't, go on YouTube and look us up.
Yep, because we got a lot of stuff brewing, and if you don't know about Nun Man, you need to know right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be soon. None your business.
Yeah, Nun Man is going to be a wrestler you're going to be very familiar with. It's going to be a household name.
Yep.
Just like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Exactly. But until next time, friends, what you gonna do, brother, when Melvin Troy and Bobby Caboose and